are you?
What are you doing here?
Will there be pie? All of these are excellent questions. Thank you so much for asking. My name is Megan, and this is Dr. Josh. We're both Assyriologists, which means that we study the languages and cultures of ancient Mesopotamia.
Which leads to another question. What's Mesopotamia?
Some kind of delicious pie, I think. Or a beautiful hat.
Yeah. Neither of those things, goof. Mesopotamia is the area that we now call Iraq, but the areas around Mesopotamia include parts of Iran, Syria, and Turkey.
Mesopotamia is not only a huge geographical area, but the study of Mesopotamia includes a huge chunk of history too, from the 4th millennium BCE all the way through to the 1st century CE.
Okay, so that's the who are you answered. But what are we doing here?
Let me put it this way. Everyone knows about ancient Egypt. Mummies, pyramids,
King Tut?
King Tut.
I've heard it both ways.
No, you haven't. My point is that everyone has at least heard about ancient Egypt, but Mesopotamia doesn't get anywhere near the same amount of attention, which is silly because it is just as cool.
Right. Mesopotamia has its own pyramids, the world's first writing system, and some seriously awesome kings. But not enough people know about any of it.
And that's where we come in. We want to make Mesopotamia as well known as Egypt, so we're using our knowledge to make educational and hopefully entertaining videos.
Short enough to watch on the school bus and factual enough to use in the classroom.
But what about the pie?
Oh, right. There is pie, but it's cartoon pie. Sorry.
Hi! Sorry, we probably should have warned people that was going to happen. That was a super long introduction, but that is the channel trailer for our new kids channel, which is called Anna Mesopotamia, and I spent most of the day finishing it.
Isn't it dope?
I'm quite proud. But yeah, I forgot that I was supposed to be debuting the channel today, and was like, oh, we don't have anything to put on it yet. That's not great. So the channel link is in the description, and I see our fantastic mods are already spamming the chat with the channel. If you would like to be notified when we put new videos up, it's not going to clog your notifications. We're really only doing one video a month because I'm not that much of a masochist. But they're going to be really short videos aimed at kids like 10 to 18, so it means really everyone will be able to understand it unless you're a child of 9, in which case it might be a little bit over your head. But yeah, super basic stuff. What is Mesopotamia? What is cuneiform?
We're going to show them one, right?
Yeah, we actually have the very first video that is currently up on the channel. We're going to show you guys later. Yes.
So hi, I'm Dr. Josh. This
I'm
is Megan. We're
Megan.
Digital Hammurabi.
Hi guys.
And we are starting the new year off right.
We are. Yeah, so new channel. Woo! If you have any children, by the way, or you are indeed a child yourself, and you would like a cameo on Anna Mesopotamia, the video format is that we have...
Well, you'll see.
You will, but there are cameo opportunities for children and young people. We do have a release form and a parental consent form that everyone is required to return.
I even had to sign it.
Well,
so.
you didn't because you're over 18. But if you're under 18, we do have a form for you and for your parents. But we would love to have volunteers. We have a bunch of people that have already very kindly recorded questions for us, and I'm really excited. Yes. So happy New Year.
Happy
Hi.
New Year.
It's nice to see you all.
So what do we want to talk about first? Because this won't be a long stream.
It won't. No, Josh and Skylar have plans.
We are going to be going on at 8:30. So, migrate over there.
Yep. Okay, so we've done Anna Mesopotamia. Okay, well, why don't you guys tell us? Do you want to see the first video from Anna Mesopotamia, or do you want to hear about HAPS, our scholarship foundation?
1 for Anna Mesopotamia video,
Yes.
2 for HAPS. We're going to do both, but which one you want to see first? While you're voting, and the word voting came out very strangely there. I was trying to say voting and deciding at the same time.
Devoting.
Yeah.
It's a real word and everything.
Indeed. I finished re-editing the script for the final Dating of Daniel video. I'm actually really, really pleased with it. Added a couple of things so that, hey, I see Chip in the side chat. Hey, Chip. Sorry, I don't mean to just point one person out.
No, but we haven't seen Chip in a while, so it's nice to see him.
So yeah, right. That should be going up very soon. Well, when does it due? Sometime this month.
The second or third week of the month.
So I have to record it. It's going to be another long one. Sorry, but we deal with Darius the Mede. We're going to talk about the visions. Oh.
Sorry. So it looks like people are voting for the Anna Mesopotamia video. Steve has an alternative suggestion. He would like to see a giant ground sloth if we have one. We do not.
Well, he's asleep.
Well, that's true. We're not going to wake him up.
No.
He's grumpy when he wakes up.
All right. Well, I will go ahead and...
Yeah, we'll get the video playing. Sorry, before we start, Alias Fake Name did point out that it is currently premiering on the Anna Mesopotamia channel because I really did not think this through.
It's currently premiering?
Yeah. I didn't think this through at all. I was like, yeah, we'll do a video premiere. It'll be great. And I was like, also, we need to do a live stream. Let's do the live stream at 7:32.
So wait. Well, it's probably over then.
Yeah.
All right, well.
Alias Fake Name knows what's happening, so don't spoil the plot for everyone else.
The plot. All right, well, I will go ahead and play it now, and we'll see you in a moment.
What languages did people in Mesopotamia speak?
That's a great question, Aaron. Thank you for asking. The area that we refer to as Mesopotamia is big, really big, and was home to different groups of people who spoke different languages. The two languages that we know the most about are Sumerian and Akkadian, because those are the languages that were written down the most in Mesopotamia. It's actually pretty interesting. Sumerian stopped being a spoken language sometime around 2000 BCE, but continued to be written down until about 100 CE, 2,000 years after it stopped being spoken. Originally, Sumerian was spoken in southern Mesopotamia, while Akkadian was spoken in the north. But eventually, Akkadian was adopted throughout the region. Several dialects of Akkadian developed. That is, slightly different forms of the same language that were spoken in different places. For example, while Akkadian was used in both Babylonia, that is, southern Mesopotamia, and Assyria, or northern Mesopotamia, the people in Babylon spoke a different type of Akkadian than the people in Ashur. The civilizations who lived around Mesopotamia, often called the periphery, had their own languages too. The Elamites in the east, a country known as Elam, what is now modern-day Iran, spoke Elamite and then Old Persian during the first millennium BCE. North of Mesopotamia in Anatolia, modern Turkey, Hattic, Hittite, Hurrian, and Luvian were spoken. To the west, in modern Syria, people spoke languages like Eblite and Amorite, as well as Ugaritic. There are also other languages that we know existed, but we don't know an awful lot about. For example, we know that there were tribal groups in the Zagros Mountains that spoke a language called Lulubian, but it wasn't written down, so we don't know anything about it except that it existed. All of those languages are on top of the Sumerian and Akkadian spoken in Mesopotamia, as well as Aramaic, which was also spoken during the first millennium BCE. There were probably other languages that were never written down too, or even written about. so we don't know that they even existed. One of the problems with studying ancient history is that we have to rely on things like written records and archaeological excavations for our information. If a language isn't written down or even written about, then it's almost impossible to know of its existence. Of course, Mesopotamia covers several thousand years. These languages weren't all in use at the same time, but were used in different time periods as people's language use changed and shifted based on things like movement of people groups and who was in power.
So you see what we mean by there being opportunities for cameo stars. We don't have to use real names. We do not have to use realistic depictions of the children in question. If all you want to lend is your voice or your child's voice, that's absolutely fine. Yeah, so that's kind of what we're going for. Relatively basic stuff. Hopefully interesting, hopefully entertaining. I'm not sure. I've never been terribly entertaining.
I find it very entertaining.
Well, that's good. That's good. Josh, at least, is enjoying it.
I have a very refined entertainment palette.
Yep, that works. That works. Yeah, so that's Anna Mesopotamia. And the other thing we were going to talk about is HAPS. If you are a relatively new subscriber, you probably haven't heard us talk about HAPS. It stands for Humans Against Poor Scholarship. And it is a scholarship fund that we started, I think, a month or two into the channel. And we collect money year-round, crowdfunded, to enable us to give money to PhD students over the summer months. So when you do a PhD, generally speaking, you don't get any money over the summer, but you are still expected to carry out research, which is tricky when you also need to do things like pay rent and buy food. So that means that students either have to get paid employment and try to fit research in around that, or take out loans or apply for grants and fellowships. So we decided that we would start a fellowship program. Last year we funded 3 students for $2,000 each, which was really awesome. We had some great candidates, and we funded Melina Seabrook, who's at Harvard, Jenna Moore, who is at Berkeley, and it's Jenna Stover Kemp, who's at Berkeley, and Sarah Moore, who is at Brown. And they were fantastic people. They came on, they did interviews before they were like chosen as HAPS scholars. And then after the summer, 2 of them have come back to give kind of like debrief interviews to tell us how their research went, what they managed to do. Melina Seabrook sadly has not managed to carry out her research because her samples are stuck in Iraq.
Yeah, no fault of her own.
Which is pretty tricky. So yeah, I've been talking to her. We're going to get her back on at some point when she's managed to complete her research, and talk to her about what she's done.
Yeah, it can be very difficult excuse me, to get some of these things done. Of course, thinking just from an archaeological standpoint, getting in these places can be incredibly tricky, just given the climate of the region. But in addition, just getting into certain collections and museums can be incredibly complicated. So yeah, it's not straightforward, and
it's tricky.
Every time you say tricky, I think of Piper's Tricky Treats on the show True.
Melina did offer to give us back the money that we've given her. So the way it works is we give 60% of the funding before the summer research starts, and then the following 40%. Excuse me. Is it 60-40 or 80-20?
I thought it was 80-20.
80-20. So we give 80% before the summer starts, and then the final 20% after they come back and do their second interview. Melina has not had her second payment, her 20%, and she has offered to reimburse us for the 80% she received. I've told her no, because she is still carrying out her research. It's just been delayed somewhat, and I've set aside the remaining money for her, so that is waiting for her. When we manage to finish up with her, she'll be sent that. So On to the financials. We currently have on Patreon, we are at $490 a month, and after PayPal fees, that's standard $446 a month. So that's people very kindly go onto the Patreon, which is patreon.com/HAPS fund, HAPS fund, and they donate money, $1, $10, $50 to come into our account every single month. So like I said, we're currently at $490. That goes down to $446 after Patreon takes their cut. That is actually down $246 a month since last February, which is not massively surprising. We haven't done an awful lot with HAPS. We've had a couple of people ask if it's still happening. We also opened our own.
Did they say pun intended?
They did not. They did not.
It's not wordplay.
No,
It's just
no.
it's wordplay.
We also opened our own personal Patreon account to fund the things we do on the channel. So we had a few people switch from HAPS to Digital Hammurabi Patreon, which is fine. We appreciate your contribution wherever it goes. So if you are not currently giving to any patron, can I suggest gently you consider HAPS? It's an excellent cause. And I think it's very valuable.
And it allows you to say things to your friends like, you might wonder, what's the HAPS?
You might say that. We would not hold it against you if you didn't. Sorry, I thought it was funny. And for those wondering, that is a Baltimore Oriole. The Orioles are our local baseball team.
Wait, I gotta make it centered. It goes the other way.
Currently, we have, for HAPS 2020, $4,137, which is amazing. That means we already have enough to fund 2 students for this coming summer. Projected income by August, as long as no one removes their funding, is currently $8,499. So if donations hold steady, by August we will have enough money to fund 4 students, which is 1 student more than we funded last year, and is really, really cool. So
you're awesome.
You're awesome.
You're awesome.
You're awesome. We would very much like, we would like to fund as many students as we can. We'll revisit this in March or April and see how we're doing. We're going to commit now to 4 students. So for the love of God, please don't stop donating. Because that means that then we have to come up with $4,000, which we don't have. Yeah, so don't do that. That wouldn't be fun.
So that's what you were asking me before the show started?
Mm-hmm. I should be clearer, clearly. Apart from Patreon, we have a couple of other things that we do. Last year we did a fundraising drive where people who donated $15 or more was sent an illustration that I did on like fine art printed paper. Yes. I am.
Okay.
I am. Is that okay? Okay, good.
Up top.
We're planning another illustration. It's going to be a drawing of an Assyrian relief of Gilgamesh, which I think is really cool. I haven't finished it yet, so I can't show it to you.
I was going to do one in macaroni, but she nixed that idea.
I mean, if you want a very special personal piece of artwork created for you by Dr. Josh in macaroni,
it's Fusilli Shogi.
Please let us know because we can arrange that.
Oh,
Skylar did a super chat.
Yeah, so Skylar Fiction, I feel like I've heard of that guy before. He's probably one of those evolutionists, okay? For $4.99, 99, you flip that upside down, it's 2 6s. He's almost Satan, okay? So help support these students. It's what Raptor Jesus would want, okay? I'm here to help.
There we go. And Yami Mizuki is correcting me. The artwork was actually for donations of $25 and more. So not 15. And we'll be doing the same price scheme again because that actually worked out relatively well.
I guess
financially. We are also going to be auctioning off a fantastic piece of artwork that sadly has not arrived yet. The lovely Christina Blackfeather did a painting for us of Marduk's dragon. And if you've seen any of... Do we have a picture of it?
Yes.
If you've seen any of our other streams, it's another background we have. It's a lovely kind of yellow dragon on a like blue background. Sorry, I should have warned Josh that we were going to do this.
Not Marmaduke. Just...
Not Marmaduke. No, Marduk. We've lost it.
You probably should talk.
Sorry.
But
Christina very kindly painted this picture for us, and it's pretty. You can't see my other arm, so this is useless. It's pretty big. It's not arrived yet. We are waiting for it to come from her printers. So we'll be auctioning off a print of it. It's a very large, very beautiful piece of artwork. I don't know if we'll be doing eBay or doing a different format, because I haven't actually looked into whether eBay is the best way to go with this. It might be.
Good lord. Okay, well,
But the advantage of it being quite so large on your screen is you can see how fantastic those bricks look. Look at that. Isn't that fantastic? I've said fantastic like 8 million times now. But it's beautiful. I'm really excited for it to arrive. So we'll be auctioning that, a print of that, and all proceeds will be going to HAPS. So
it'll be an auction in Yorkshire.
It will be an auction, not in Yorkshire, though.
Okay.
Look at how beautiful.
Okay, I'll do that now.
Yes, so that is what we have planned currently for HAPS.
That was like seamless production there.
Very seamless.
I'm watching it now in like what is this? The
live replay.
Yeah, the live replay. Yeah. I'm really bad at this. Sorry, everybody.
Nope, it's all good. Someone asked a thing. Who asked a thing? Steve Bowden. Would Megan or Dr. Josh make a macaroni version of the unanswered mystery of the 7,000-year-old obeyed lizard man? We could make you an obeyed lizard man out of macaroni if you wanted. I can't promise it would be particularly good. Yeah. Fun times. We do know that you can hear when we whisper in front of the microphone.
Oh.
We do know that. And we're going super quickly, but I want to say hi to Zupeta, who adopted our cat and is awesome.
Come along, Pond.
Come along, Pond. And hello to Enki25. Very nice to see you. Thank you for whatever it was my mods did with that interesting individual.
What happened?
Mark von Wisco visited the Pergamon Museum in 87.
Oh, wow.
I would love... So for those who don't know, that particular dragon, I nearly said lizard man. Thank you, Steve. That particular dragon is on the Ishtar Gate, which is a massive gate made of clay bricks that have been glazed this really vibrant blue, and they've got dragons and lions and bulls, or were the bulls in a different part of it?
Sorry, you're really pretty when you get excited.
But it's got dragons and lions and bulls.
Oh my.
Oh my, in relief on the bricks.
I have nothing useful to say.
If you Google Ishtar Gate, you'll come up with some absolutely gorgeous imagery, and I would love to see it one day. Absolutely love to.
Zupater said that Pond is sleeping right now.
Good. He likes that. Oh, wonderful. We've covered HAPS. We've covered Anna Mesopotamia. If you have any questions, put them in the chat, because we're going to be heading out relatively quickly. The Sumerian Grammar is out.
Yes.
If you would like a copy, it's on Amazon. We have a Kindle version and a print version. Everything is now fixed. If you watched our book stream, you'll realize that it was released a little prematurely. But I have gone through several different versions, and I think I've fixed as much as I could find.
Do we want to tell them about...
And yes, we do have signed copies available. If you should like a signed copy, email us, digitalhammurabi@gmail.com.
I just didn't know if that's why I muted. I don't know what I'm supposed to say anymore. I'm going to be quiet.
You can email us about that. It does cost a little bit more because of the shipping. If you order from Amazon, generally they will cover shipping. Yes, so email us. We also had Rand asked if he could just super chat us the money. I appreciate that offer, but no, because YouTube takes like 70% of super chats.
30%.
30%. Okay, we get 70%. Yeah. Steve Bowden, yes, that is the Ishtar Gate is the one that was moved to Germany. It is currently in the Pergamon Museum in Berlin. Fahid, IQ05, do you like Iraq? I have never been. I would dearly like to. I very much like the history and culture. The Iraqi people I have met have been wonderful. Autobot Starscream, if you're both Assyriologists, why is Megan never addressed as doctor? Because I don't have my doctorate. I got most of the way through my PhD and then decided to leave the program this last summer because my mental health was suffering and I was very sad and not a good person to be around.
It's a very difficult thing, and I suppose I say this anecdotally because the experience that I have, but it's very difficult for a mother to finish a PhD program. Yeah. It's incredibly difficult. I think the only reason that I got through, finished the dissertation and defended, is because I didn't have the same type of responsibilities as Megan does.
If you're the primary caregiver for anyone, it's incredibly difficult because you have demands on your time, and they are demands that often are not recognized by universities.
And I would say in a lot of cases, not only not recognized, or in many cases recognized and sort of looked down upon.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
So I'll go back to it once the kids are big enough that they don't need constant supervision. Trevor is asking if he can get his Kindle version signed. I'll send you a signed PDF, Trevor. Let's have a look. Yeah, no, I think we've got all of the questions. Someone apparently asked about HAPS. Let me see. Scroll up and see if I can find it.
I wish that I could see this.
It's tricky. It's very small.
Like a tricky treat.
So just to recap for those who only just joined us, we have a new kids channel. I say kids, it's really aimed at anyone who wants to learn about Mesopotamia in like 5 minutes or less.
And we'll play the, if you want to, we'll play the trailer as the outro.
We'll play the trailer as we leave. HAPS is ongoing. We have currently enough money to fund 2 students for summer 2020. We would like to raise enough to fund 4 of them. So that means we need $4,000 more.
And apparently we are now committed officially to ponying up $4,000 if everybody stops giving. Is that what I just...
Oh, wow, Rand. That is more than enough. Thank you. Sorry, Rand just super chatted us 100 New Zealand dollars.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good grief. Okay. Rand Huso, for 100 New Zealand dollars. Thank you very much, Rand. Okay, it's quite a bit of money. Of course, probably not as much as I make, but Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. It's not my wife. It's a picture. Okay. Let me know if that's enough. Okay. Should be. Well, I'm not sure it's ever enough. Oh, okay. Yes. Thank you. Sorry.
That is enough, Rand. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That's incredible. Also, if people for some reason don't know, I'm doing my impression of someone.
A person.
He put out a pretty amazing Christmas album this year on Skylar Fiction's channel. So
he did.
Hop over there and check that out. Oh, the weather outside is frightful.
So anyway, HAPS, we have 4,000 in the bank, so we can fund 2 students. We want to fund 4. So please, if you are not, signed up to a patron of any kind, consider HAPS. It's patreon.com/HAPS. Yeah, that was about it. We do have a question. I'm not sure I can answer it. Why is Assyriology still called Assyriology when Sumer has been discovered to be the heart and origin and Assyria isn't?
I would say probably convention.
There we go.
Yeah.
It's pretty difficult to change that kind of thing. And a lot of people will use the term Near Eastern Studies.
Yeah.
It's a lot more inclusive.
And I would generally refer to myself as a Sumerologist.
because he studied Sumerian.
Yeah, but
primarily.
Yeah.
It if you're getting really down to the nitty-gritty, Assyriology tends to be the philological study of Akkadian and Babylonian. Sumerology is the philological study of Sumerian. Am I right in that, or am I going crazy?
Well, it just depends on the context in which people are saying it.
There we go. I'm crazy. You heard it
I don't
here
think
first.
I don't think you're crazy.
So, I don't have anything else. I'm done.
Well, guys, thank you so much for watching. And
it was nice to see you all.
Rant, that was, sorry, I'm still reeling a little bit
That was
from
incredibly
that.
generous.
Thank you. It was very, very kind. And we will play the trailer as the outro.
Mm-hmm.
And please, in 30 minutes, I'll be over on Scholar Fiction's channel if you like that sort of thing. We are going to be reviewing, pay your taxes on that money, Josh. Well, converse, if you
would like to see our tax return, please email me. We'll help you out.
Yeah, if you'd been here I'm sure you're just being funny, but the first year that we ran this scholarship, we didn't realize that we would have to pay taxes on that money. And when we figured it out, we'd already raised a couple $1,000, and we decided we were going to pay it anyway so that we wouldn't have to use people's money that they'd given to pay the taxes. So I'm sure you said that in jest, but it's actually a very real issue that hit us. So thanks.
So there is a link to the channel in the description. And if one of the mods could quickly post it, that would be super helpful. Thank you.
Right.
We love you.
All right, guys.
You guys
thank
are
you so
awesome.
much.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Who are you?
What are you doing here?
Will there be pie? All of these are excellent questions. Thank you so much for asking. My name is Megan, and this is Dr. Josh. We're both Assyriologists, which means that we study the languages and cultures of ancient Mesopotamia.
Which leads to another question. What's Mesopotamia?
Some kind of delicious pie, I think. Or a beautiful hat.
Yeah. Neither of those things, goof. Mesopotamia is the area that we now call Iraq, but the areas around Mesopotamia include parts of Iran, Syria, and Turkey.
Mesopotamia is not only a huge geographical area, but the study of Mesopotamia includes a huge chunk of history too, from the 4th millennium BCE all the way through to the 1st century CE.
Okay, so that's the who are you answered. But what are we doing here?
Let me put it this way. Everyone knows about ancient Egypt. Mummies, pyramids...
King Tut?
King Tut.
I've heard it both ways.
No, you haven't. My point is that everyone has at least heard about ancient Egypt, but Mesopotamia doesn't get anywhere near the same amount of attention, which is silly because it is just as cool.
Right. Mesopotamia has its own pyramids, the world's first writing system, and some seriously awesome kings. But not enough people know about any of it.
And that's where we come in. We want to make Mesopotamia as well known as Egypt, so we're using our knowledge to make educational and hopefully entertaining videos.
Short enough to watch on the school bus and factual enough to use in the classroom.
But what about the pie?
Oh, right. There is pie, but it's cartoon pie. Sorry.
Now